survival situation, what would you do? What do you mean? Like, what are your skills? What's your game plan? Oh, okay, yeah, I'd find a man. Find a man? Yeah, I mean, am I strong? Sure. Am I capable? Sure. Am I stronger or more capable than a well-trained man? No. Okay, well, that's internal misogyny, but we're not even going to talk about that. Why do you think this man is just going to protect you? Oh, yeah, that's where my skills come in. Oh. What should I have said, like archery or something?
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see that you remembered to bring us all back into the stream as the outro or intro was finishing up.
I'm getting better. I'm really proud of myself.
I wasn't expecting to just see like full screen me and my steering wheel right in from the intro, but it wasn't too off-putting.
I felt like I had to add you in first just because you forced this upon me this morning.
Hey, I gave you an entire 15 minutes heads up.
It was good. I was up. I was watching Power Rangers. I was awake.
Eating your Frosted Flakes, watching Power Rangers. God.
No.
Sorry.
It was very odd. I dreamed about a specific Power Rangers episode that I saw way back when, and so I woke up feeling the need to have to find out which episode it's titled. So I looked it up on YouTube, found it, and started to watch the beginning of the actual episode and not the dream episode.
So is this like an episode of Power Rangers from
Power Rangers in space?
Okay, not like the original Power Rangers that Dag and I would have watched.
No, I am not as old as you two.
And so you don't know anything about the Pink Ranger then?
Is she not in Power Rangers in space?
I don't know.
They have the white one or the silver one, who was always my favorite. Just leave that there.
I never really got that into Power Rangers. But any of those kid shows, it's the beauty of them is because people age out and new kids come into it, is you never really have to come up with anything new. You just do the same thing for 30 years and you can just keep having Marcus children.
I think it feels like they changed the Zords and they made, what was it? They had Power Rangers Ninja and they did all kinds of different stuff. But at the end of the day, it was always pretty much the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. I forgot how awful the acting was in those shows. As I was watching it this morning, I was like, oh, this is really bad. It's good bad though.
Yeah, we watched or started to watch or tried to watch a movie last night that it's from the 90s. It's called The Pest, and my wife's always referenced it, and I'd never seen it. So we found it on Tubi. I'm like, oh, let's watch it. And it's funny because she hasn't seen it since forever, and she used to like the movie. And watching it, she's like, wow, I don't remember how dumb this is. It was pretty rough. I like stupid comedy movies or whatever, but it was a pretty bad movie, definitely kind of low budget. I was looking it up, and it was it cost $3 million to make, or $8 million to make, and it made $3 million. Some of the reviews were pretty good, but it's funny when you go back and watch stuff you really loved as a kid, and you're like, oh my god, this is bad, what Three Ninjas. I remember looking at the Three Ninjas movies. You guys remember those?
Heck yeah.
No.
Tried to watch one of those it was 20 years ago now with my friends, and we're like, oh my god, we used to watch this. Is so bad. This is so dumb. But when you're 7, they can't all be Jurassic Park.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Or even go back and watch I haven't even seen all of the original Star Wars because Luke Skywalker is the worst actor alive, or whatever his name is, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill is actually the voice of the Joker in the Batman animated series that came out in the early 90s. And he is the iconic voice of the Joker. But yeah, as far as just acting wise, outside of like live action acting wise, yeah, he's pretty trash.
He seems like a pretty trash guy.
I don't
But
get the
it's-
whole Star Wars thing. I know I'm the outlier in like most like society, but I don't know. I just never. I can't. I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not into the originals. When I first moved from like when my parents split up and I moved from the country to like the suburbs, all new friends, all new shit, and everybody was into Star Wars and soccer. And like I had never even like heard of either of those items. Like I didn't even know soccer fucking existed. You know, like we played baseball and football, right? Like real American.
Yeah, those
boys.
are American sports.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone's so into Star Wars, so I'm like, well, let me watch these fucking things. And there was only the first 3 at the time, I guess, right? And like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't get it. You know, I'm like, this is stupid. Like some of the ships, like the TIE fighters and X-wings, I thought were like cool. You know, but like that's it. Everything else sucked. But again, I admit I'm the outlier.
Well,
So I
that's
think
the
that-
only thing you're the outlier in is a Star Wars. You're pretty
That's it.
mainstream.
Otherwise-
Everything else.
Totally on board with everything.
So I take it you haven't watched Kenobi or whatever.
Me neither.
Oh no! Sorry, I should say no instead of just shake my head. I keep forgetting kids. No, I'm not. No.
Hey, by the way, Justin, he shook his head no.
Yeah.
I gathered that as he didn't answer. And see, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I haven't gotten into Kenobi. I kind of have this like disconnect with a lot of the Star Wars properties that they're putting out. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're telling the story of Kenobi between episode 3 and episode 4 because nothing of consequence is going to happen because we already know what happens in episode 4, 5, and 6. So, like, you're not telling a story that matters. Like when the Solo movie came out about Han Solo, it's like, okay, well, literally nobody except for Han Solo, Chewie, and Lando actually matter to the story going forward, so we can just not watch this because it's inconsequential. Like everything that Star Wars is putting out is just useless because it doesn't actually build anything onto the story, other than like Mandalorian is pretty good. I've enjoyed that.
I hope our viewers just enjoyed what you said because Dag and I have no idea what you just said.
Disney's
Well-
gonna keep milking that cow, man. I mean, I think that sums up what he was saying. You know, like they're just, hey, anything we can find content here. You know, that people might watch. You know, let's do it.
Well, they created a whole bunch of a whole universe of fans. Like they got to keep keeping them happy, I guess.
Just like the merchandise, dude. Like every other car has a fucking Star Wars sticker on it or some shit. You know, driving around. It is ridiculous. People like to put stickers in their car down here. I don't know how it is up there, but
Yeah, we got a fair share of stickers up here.
What
Well,
color
it's salt light.
lightsaber would you? What color would your lightsaber be? That's what you got to figure out next.
is there a
Right.
difference between the colors, or is it just funsies?
Yeah, there's a difference. I can't remember what it is exactly.
Is there like a determine your personality by or determine your Star Wars personality test out there? Because I just want to know if I'm on the dark side or
Oh,
the other side.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's
I'm a Hufflepuff.
got to be a half a dozen of them. You know what? That is the most on brand thing I think I've heard you ever say. That doesn't surprise me a bit.
You know, the first time I took that, I got Slytherin.
Oh.
That also does not surprise me a bit.
I really don't know
do
the
you think I
difference. I
got?
just threw the first one out there. I don't know what any of them are.
You're a man of peace.
You're an owl. That's one of them, right?
Ravenclaw, that was what I was. Yeah.
Ah,
So
Well, I
does
was
that
close.
mean this means that Clyde is our Gryffindor representative?
Probably.
That doesn't seem right.
I don't know. Gryffindor's pretty gay. That seems on brand as well.
I'm like, I want like the really gay lightsaber, the one that doesn't hurt people, it heals you. What color is that?
Pink, probably.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Pink seems to represent feminism, and they are some of the most vile creatures alive.
red,
Speaking
First
of
Aid Kit's red.
feminism,
Look, I have no articles to pull up, Justin.
well, I don't
I
have
thought we had a
any
shit ton in the
articles.
chat.
I didn't really have
We
any
could have,
articles for today because I
oh,
figured
okay.
we would just talk about all the. Let's see, Clarence Thomas is an N-word. You gotta make sure you lead off with that.
Yeah, for half the population, he's an A. For the other half, he's a hard R.
All suburban white women are just dropping hard R's left and right now.
Was that
Get
tweet
out
real?
of here.
Was that one? I saw one tweet where she went right there. And I couldn't tell if that was real or not.
And that psycho bitch was like unrepentant. She posted that, and then she didn't just call him an N-word. She called him a field nigger. Like, she went hard with it. Like, wow.
I think this is the first time someone's actually dropped the word on the show.
I think it is.
She went like all the way with it. And then in the very next tweet, she said, "You see how mad y'all made me?" And then went on for like
justification.
Yeah, and went
the abusive husband thing.
Went on for like 4 points to defend her saying that. It's like, holy shit, woman! Like, you have lost your marbles. But you can find like whole collages of all these crazy white women just dropping the hard R in reference to Clarence Thomas.
Here. Yeah, I saw the one lady. Did she finally delete it, or it's still up there?
I don't think she deleted it. I think Twitter took it down.
First time they ever censor leftists, unless it's like a libs of TikTok thing.
I don't know how proficient you are with doing this, Mark, but I sent an article that apparently has a video in it to the chat that I haven't seen yet. But
you sent it to the Twitter chat?
No, yes, the Twitter chat.
Well, you just made this infinitely hard. No, I'm just kidding.
I did my phone.
Uh-oh. Now Mark has to open another tab. His whole computer's going to crash.
I got off screen.
This is so stress. I might have been able to do it on the other one. I don't know. I don't know what's easier or not.
Does this have to
do
do
these
with
things where it's like, no.
All I'm saying is an excavator.
I mean, it could be a method if you really want to go ham.
Probably is at this point.
No, it's somebody attacking some state troopers or defending himself, probably more likely, with an excavator.
Oh, nice.
But I haven't read anything about it or seen the article or anything. I just saw it on the news this morning and was like, "Oh, that might be something." I wanted to contribute somehow. So we don't have to play it, but I can absolve my guilt of not contributing to the show today by saying I sent an article.
That is like apex Florida man.
Can you see how instantly drawn to it I was?
Fighting off state troopers with a.
I think it was in Florida too, wasn't it? I don't know, I could be wrong.
It had to have been.
Oh, what you guys? Is it chocolate milk?
No, it's cold brew coffee.
Oh, that's good too.
I decided to switch it up a little bit today.
Mark is embracing his inner bitch.
I mean, they're all gonna die off apparently. So, in memory.
Well, I say, Dag and I don't have to worry about it because we're not actually breeders, so we're not going to be subject to the sex strikes. Have you found a watering hole to wet your whistle?
Listen, I told my friend this last night. He was like, no woman's gonna want to have sex with us anymore. I was like, all the women who are like angry, mad about this are either lesbians or they look like lesbians. Pro-life women are infinitely hotter than pro-abortion women.
I've known plenty of women who were not necessarily down with abortion who still put out. So it's still going to happen. I promise.
He sounds like he's trying to console me.
No, I mean, I'm just saying in general, like, I'm more talking to your friend who's like, oh, nobody's going to have sex anymore.
Yeah,
I don't
he's kind of.
It's still going to happen, I promise.
I wouldn't call him a lib, but he's just kind of annoying.
Yep, hoes still going to hoe no matter what.
I actually had somebody post on one of my Facebook posts that apparently our only option is to just stop having sex. So hope you enjoy not having sex anymore. It's like, my wife's actually a mature adult, and we don't, have to worry about that sort of thing. But I'm glad you're concerned about my sex life. Weirdo.
Yeah, people never had sex before the 70s.
So weirdo. Yeah, earlier we were talking about going back in time and watching terrible movies. We're going back to those days now. 60s style movies. This is what they say.
Yep.
You have the key to the chastity belt?
Although, ironically, they've turned it into a child sacrifice thing. So you could say that we had gone back like 2,000 years.
I mean, it's not that far if you just, switch continents.
True. Very true.
So
South America.
All right. So what have been? Let's say what have been some of your favorite tweets or quotes or just straight up wrong takes through all of this?
We'll get to it, Doug.
Did you have the guy?
No. We'll get to it.
Okay.
I remember the first day or two was pretty painful, and I'm trying to think of specific examples. And most of mine come from, so like my Twitter and stuff's a big echo chamber, but like, Facebook's where I get, the people I know, or have known, went to high school with for some reason still. It's weird. Social media is weird. But, yeah, like seeing a lot of that. And, it's a lot of stuff like suddenly people are like digital privacy experts. So like people who never cared about like using Signal or something before, like use Signal because the government's going to be monitoring your chats to see if you're talking about abortion. So they can come stop you from having an abortion and stuff like that. And
they
I'm like,
find
well,
out how right-wing Signal is.
Yeah, right. But I'm like, well, I guess I'm glad you're getting on the privacy train, I guess, And then like, the other stuff like, oh, if you ever need to go camping out of state, I'll take you camping. We'll never talk about our camping trip again. And then, some Handmaid's Tale references and some dystopian novel references and stuff like that. The huge, nothing too insane though.
Nothing crazy. You didn't have any Handmaid's Tale dressed women hanging out outside your house.
No, not yet. Most of the women I know are employed, so we'll have to see. Time will tell.
Nice.
I had posted that condoms, birth control, Plan B, not being a hoe. These are all still valid options. And I had somebody that commented and said, no, they've made Plan B illegal. It's like, except that they literally didn't. And even posted an article with the full explanation of the new restrictions in her state that very specifically says Plan B does not fall under any of these restrictions. Well, they took it off the shelves. Literally didn't. Let me highlight the line for you where it says it's still available on the shelf. Like
they took this off the shelves. Fuck y'all and y'all's pills. They took my jewel away. I had to sweet talk the fucking racetrack employee yesterday to get some pods.
Have they enacted that? Has that gone into effect?
They're not on the shelves, at least at the big corporate thing. The racetrack is one big one's down here. I don't know if they're anyhow. There was a section just not there, and all the other vapes around it are still there. And I said, hey man, what's up, pods? And he's like, oh man, I don't know. We had to take them down, and now he's like, we can't display them. He's like, give me a minute. He went to the back and grabbed some and came back, and he's like, tell you what, if they scan, I'll sell them to you. And they scan, so he sold them to me. But they're not allowed to at least, I don't know if it's a corporate thing or a legal thing, but they're not displaying them right now. But I did manage to get some yesterday, so.
I had
he's got like shoeboxes full in a back room somewhere.
I'll just switch brands. I mean, I'm not that like diehard Jewel. It's just stupid. Like the only reason they say like, yeah, we're getting rid of them because it's the most popular one. It's like it's not even like they're more dangerous than the other ones. It's just that's the one people use, so that's the one we're gonna get rid of. It's so fucking fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, what's the justification for that?
It popularizes vaping among youth because it's the most popular one that kids use it more. So therefore, it's so appealing to children. They just have to get it out of here. And then, views, I guess, will be next or what the fuck ever. Probably anything you can like. It's funny because it's probably anything you can buy in convenience stores are going to be the ones that are going to go after the hardest because it seems like you can still get anything you want, flavors, whatever, if you go to the specialty stores or you buy online. But it seems like kids would have an easier time just buying shit online. Like back in my day, it was a little bit harder because the internet wasn't like that. But it's like, dude, it'd be so easy to just buy shit online now as a fucking kid,
This is an important topic in the chat here.
Gray market on the jewels and vapes.
Looks like you'll have to start it yourself.
Dude, one thing I regret is when I was in high school, I didn't start like a cigarette empire. That would have been the way to go. I could have made a shit ton of money.
Cigarette empire.
Hell yeah. Get a cigarette rolling machine, loose tobacco, get them cigarettes were cheap back then anyhow, but I could have sold, loosies at school. Hell yeah. But they,
with your entrepreneurial spirit, I can't believe you didn't.
Man, it was a little late. I remember one time my mom found this notebook I had where I'd sat down. I'd figured out I'd gotten a plug where I could have gotten like a pound of weed, right? And I sat down, I did all the math, broke it down. Here's how much I'd make, blah, blah, blah. And my mom found this notebook, right? And I hadn't actually done it or anything. I didn't have the capital to do it. But she found this notebook of me figuring it out, It's like, so, she's like, she's like, what the fuck's the matter with you, But it's like, yeah, what are you going to do at that point? So, I think I was like 16.
Well, you were like the dumb criminal. Have you seen the, there's like these, it was this couple. It was like the dumb criminal couple that they had figured out how they were like scam their boss and their job, and they were smuggling all this money, and they just had like a notebook that they had like all the math written out in it and stuff. Is like, and that's how they got busted. Was somebody?
That's how it always happens, man. Yeah, there's no records. Well, one of the biggest, I think he was primarily weed, and I think this was the 60s and 70s. I think it's in the documentary Square Grouper, which is not bad. But they were bringing shit in the Florida Barge Canal, the Cross Florida Barge Canal, and they had fleets of ships. Just huge operation. And I think they were over on the West Coast. Maybe on the West Coast. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. But the way they got busted is the dude left his fucking ledger book at a fucking Denny's, like on the fucking seat, like they were eating breakfast at a fucking Denny's, and he left his fucking ledger book sitting on the fucking seat. And it's like, dude, like, what do you like? At least use some sort of code or something so people can't pick it up and know exactly what the fuck it is. Like Big Jim's weed business blog. Like don't put that on the cover. Like what the fuck, man? But yeah, man, it is shit like that. And you look at like Al Capone, all that is taxes, right? Like that's how they get you because of fucking records and shit. When you get that much money and you have to handle it, you have to keep records somehow. Just to run anything, you can't keep all that shit in your head. So that is, I think, the challenge in like, a lot of criminal organizations is how do you operate a business, a parallel business, legal and illegal kind of thing. But that's how they get, I think, most big operations anyhow. It's like, yeah, dude, we're not out like doing drug busts. We're following money. We're looking at bank accounts. We're doing shit like that. That's really how they catch you.
One time we found an escape plan piece of paper for some of the kids when I worked that job, and they in their defense, they coded it up a bit. There are some numbers. Their issue was on the back of that same paper was what the numbers meant. We had the key on the back. It's like, well, 437 means we're going to escape at this time, so we were ready for them. Even if it was kind of amusing, I was almost like proud of them for at least having the gumption to go that far with it.
You almost want to let them like get a head start. Don't let them escape, but let them just feel like they made a good effort. Good try, guys.
Look, if you want to leave so bad, I would open the door for you. You didn't have to go to all this trouble.
Like give them just that moment where they feel like they're winning, where they really feel like they're winning. Like this is gonna work out. Before you step in and like, oh, you really tried hard. It's cute. It's cute how hard you tried. Sorry, though. We got to take you back.
I did have to chase after one of our older kids one time. He was like 13, and I chased him pretty far to like a bridge. And when I finally caught up with him, that dude like acted. I knew he was bluffing. He acted like he was just gonna jump over the bridge into the river. I was like, "Look, man, I don't think you want to do this, but I'm not grabbing you because I'm calling your bluff. You don't strike me as a jump into the river type of kid." He certainly wasn't.
All right,
To
so
try.
where's this guy attacks cops with a backhoe or whatever?
Oh boy!
God, I hope this isn't lame.
You said that you hope it's lame.
I hope it isn't.
Oh,
Like I said, I haven't watched it or anything. I was hoping we could all take joy in this together.
here we go.
The suspect's father was at the controls. Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome. A dad
gosh.
fighting the cops off from his kid? Oh, man, that's almost... What's that guy's name who shot the pedophile in the head at the airport? Back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Like, that's almost that level hero.
State Police.
Can you hear
Yeah.
that?
Take a look.
Yeah, Jody.
What could have been an easy arrest instead looked like this.
It could have been, sir, turn around, put your hands behind your
God,
back.
Vermont.
You're under arrest for an assault, and they would have just driven away.
Last Tuesday, police arrived at a Hardwick home to arrest 24-year-old Brandon Tallman on burglary and assault charges stemming from an incident a few days before. When troopers Skylar Velasquez and Gabe Schrauf arrive, Brandon's parents try to stop them from arresting their son. Brandon's mom, Amy Tallman, is wearing a black dress and white sneakers. You can see her holding on to her son and getting into a
Here
scuffle
comes.
with police as they try to pull Brandon away. Meanwhile, Brandon's dad, Wayne Tallman, gets into the cab of an excavator parked in the driveway.
They don't have a scene or a scenario at the academy where we practice this one.
While the troopers are on the ground with Amy and Brandon, the father, Wayne, lowers the excavator and uses it as a weapon, then swinging it at police. Trooper Schrauf points his gun at him, but doesn't pull the trigger.
It's like,
Captain
shooing
Daly
him.
was not there
Oh, yeah,
that
what are you gonna
day,
do?
but he said troopers made good decisions.
It was a dangerous situation that you guys were put in, and in the end, you came out on top. You effected the arrest. You guys both came home and went home that night, and that's the goal of why we went there.
The father, Wayne, faces several charges, including reckless endangerment and assault on a protected official. The mom, Amy, faces charges for trying to stop the arrest.
Man, I honestly, I give like kudos all around on this one. Like parents for being based ass fucking parents, and the state troopers. I mean, how else would you want? I mean, like burglary and assault is like a significant like thing, right? Like it's not like it was like for pot or something, right? So it's like they didn't shoot anybody. They didn't puss out and just abandon the arrest either. You know, the one guy stayed with the people on the ground, and the other one like handled the dad. It looked like, I guess. Like I don't know, man. I guess as far as cops go, they handled it okay. What do you guys think?
I think so. Black Lives
I
Matter
don't
is
disagree with
kind of
Nile
upset
either, but-
because they, BLM came out with a statement saying that the only reason the cops didn't shoot the excavator is because it's not black.
It's an unprovable statement. I'm not saying they're wrong.
Oh boy. Well, folks,
Yeah,
that's
that
our
is-
only
that-
news
that-
story
that
for
definitely
today.
That definitely lived up to the entertainment value.
Were you able to see it?
Yeah,
Question?
I could kind of see it. Yes, I could kind of see it.
Yeah, if it was like the cops had gotten killed
Can you
in the
hear me?
excavator, it might have had to pull over. Yeah, you were a little choppy there for a second, but we can hear you. Maybe a lag or something.
You went through the bad part of town.
We're coming through the bottoms, like we're almost to the house. So, like here in just a second, it'll switch over and pick up the Wi-Fi, and then I'll go sit down at my computer, and then you'll be able to hear me fine, assuming my internet's actually working.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip out then. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, you're getting out of me.
I gotta go finish this Power Rangers episode.
Do you do this regularly? Like, do you watch Power Rangers? And
No, this
cartoons
was the
and
first
stuff?
time I have seen anything Power Rangers related in 10 years. Probably more
I'll
than
say,
10 years.
I,
No, I probably saw it at work. So
When the kids were younger, my son and I would watch Young Justice, and there was a Green Lantern cartoon on Cartoon Network every Saturday. And on weekends that I didn't have the kids, I would pour myself a giant bowl of Lucky Charms and watch Young Justice and Green
So you was
Lantern.
making
And
fun of me earlier.
I was not making fun of you, not at all, huh?
Like we ain't there.
Weird synchronicity time, Mark. I had a dream, I don't know, let's say a few months ago. And for some reason, there was a song in it that I hadn't heard since like the 2000s. It was some crappy pop song, Fergie or some shit. And I was like, wow, that was...
I'm just kidding.
and it was just weird. But then I had to like look it up and listen to it, the next day. Just
It's called
same
Big
thing,
Girls
like,
Don't Cry.
Some goofy.
No, it wasn't that one. It was Glamorous. Thank you. And I'm not sure if it was Fergie, but then fucking like yesterday or the day before, like just the regular radio was on in the car, and there's like some new it's like a rap song or something that uses like the fucking beat and the chorus from that song in it, and I was like, oh my god, what like an odd like thing that it's like that song just popped back up in my head, and I guess it's possible I heard that song like in the background, like in like a store or something, and didn't realize that Glamorous had made a resurgence.
I think I know what song you're taking. Glamorous. I don't know who sings that.
Yeah.
Is that Beyonce?
It might be. I thought it was a white chick. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I think I said it was a pop song from a time when I didn't pay much attention to the outside world.
So what'd you do this weekend?
Days. Worked. I worked yesterday, and then we processed chickens pretty much all weekend. So killing birds, butchering up. I got a whole cooler full of them in my kitchen here. When we get off, I gotta cut up a bunch more, package. I got some new packaging or new labels and everything I'm pretty excited about. Taking a step up. I used to just like handwrite on masking tape like the date and the cut and the weight and shit, but I actually have like...
Do you have a serial killer handwriting?
Yes. I mean, I would have never described it as that, but I mean, it kind of looks like a child's handwriting. Is that serial killer?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Basically. That's the gist.
Yeah. We were talking about secret codes earlier. My handwriting is a code even I can't decipher. So I'll write hand notes. I'm like, what is this? Like spelling's usually all wrong when I hand, because I'm being quick, and I might just spell stuff phonetically.
I don't know what Justin's doing. I probably could have like removed him from the stream the entire time he was walking to his computer.
And this is funnier because then I can't even stop to like take a piss or anything. Whoa, that was funny. We had two Justins. Yeah. So what'd you do this weekend?
It's terrifying. I did some work, and I actually house sitted for my parents because they're out of town.
Sure, that was tough.
And it was really hard. They have a pool, and it was nice and hot this weekend, so that was beneficial. I mean, I can use it when they're home too. It's not like they're like, you can only use our pool when we're away.
Well, I was sick of cleaning all that gross ginger hair out of the fucking filter. Are your parents ginger?
No, actually, they're both. I mean, they have both been blonde most of their lives. Both of my brothers are blonde, and then there's me. But I act the most German out of all of them.
Yell at the dog real quick.
Are you here, Justin? Oh yeah,
I'm here. Yes. Can you hear me?
loud and clear.
Sweet. Do we want to play this video that Clyde sent where he couldn't figure out what these people were saying?
Sure, that sounds perfect for the show.
Oh, I couldn't get it to play. I thought it'd been removed.
Oh, it's still there. Let's see.
Okay.
See how terrifying this shit is.
Oh boy.
Working for the Lord. Working for the Lord. Hey, you ain't got no ass.
The cop looks so amused.
Fuck you up.
This lady was like laughing at the polls.
What? I have no idea what was going on there.
I don't.
There was a
No.
lady with some stickers on her boobs.
I noticed.
I don't know what the stickers said.
Some dude was calling her an ugly bitch, and then she
that's
got
not
all
right.
offended and screeched about something. I guess she was screeching because he called her an ugly bitch.
She looked like the type of person to screech. Yeah.
I know this has been asked before, but I just want to know if you guys have theories. Why do they always get naked?
The feminist thing.
Yeah.
Well, like, okay, so you could say two things. Like, one, if you want to get attention, like, bam, right? And then I think, like, and I mean, that's probably really the reason if I had to guess. But like their justification is like I think a lot of times isn't it like the whole it's just that like don't like it's not like don't objectify or they try to I don't know if normalize is the right word or whatever.
So, we want to show you what we're going to withhold from you kind of thing. But I mean that lady actually wasn't bad compared to most naked feminists that I see. Like they're usually pretty repulsive. This person here, I guess I know what's going on, but it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I just don't understand what the point is.
Yeah, I mean, I really do want to hear, like, I mean, are they just being funny, or is this like some art thing, or do they have some stupid statement? Like, I'm genuinely curious because this is, I don't know, like, I mean, it's weird. I mean, I'm not saying I do it or like I want to go see somebody do this, but I mean, I don't know, man. I kind of give people props for effort. They put some effort into that.
Interesting costume, if nothing else.
Yeah,
So,
like at Halloween, dude. If you saw that person at Halloween, you'd be like, "High five, bro! Let me high five one of them nuts." It would be hilarious. You fucking love it. Any other context in the world, it's the weirdest thing like fucking ever.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
I guess to your point about if it's art, we maybe it means we're moving on from horrible, terrible abstract art because at least that has a message to it, and it's not paint thrown against a wall.
Are you
was
talking
more
about
entertaining.
the penis person? That's not abstract art?
I mean,
Are you sure?
there are objects that are quite real in this world is being presented.
Man, we are setting the bar low for art.
Look, I'm trying to help Dak out on his point here. It's disgusting.
I mean, so is most art, but that's okay. I do have to say this: it's definitely more entertaining than most art.
You hate art?
No, I don't hate art. I just don't have like affinity like thing. Like I've been like places like where there's like art on the walls and people walking around with the artist and then the way they talk about it. I don't know, man. I just don't. I'm not like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't have some like deep brooding thing I have to get out onto a canvas. So like I just don't like get it. But like I mean like my wife is a fucking amazing artist, but she's really good. Like she draws stuff that looks like stuff. So it's really easy for me to appreciate it, because I'm like, oh wow, that looks exactly like that picture. Like that's fucking amazing, So I don't know. I'm not like I also am starting to get go with the theory that fine art is like a op, and like a money laundering scam. So I
mean, even if it's not an op, there's money laundering involved. So
yeah,
It's definitely a scam. I mean, Hunter Biden selling his finger paintings of whatever is for hundreds of thousands of dollars has obviously proved it's a scam.
yeah. I mean, I don't like to poo-poo on shit people enjoy. If people genuinely enjoy what the fuck ever, like go for it. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just, my opinion. Like I just don't fucking give a fuck about it, much. But I definitely look at shit and go, wow, that's really cool. Or like a lot like graffiti. This is one of my like deviation things where it's like I'm not like okay with vandalizing property, but like I don't know, I don't mind when people spray paint trains because it gives me something to look at while I'm sitting there fucking waiting, and those guys are fucking impressive. They're the people who like, they do like graffiti, like they're really hard to reach places. And like, how the fuck did somebody get there and do that? That's always really impressive to me too. I'm not like okay with it, but it's like, what the fuck ever.
Most I get the whole like it's like how did they get up there and do that? But most graffiti I see around my city is just stuff I just want to go up and clean off myself. I don't.
You can. You have that option.
Maybe
The
I'll
city will
ask.
probably come like fine you for
Yeah, just like
not doing it without a permit. Oh fuck. We had one of our shops, one of the car shops I worked at one year. We got there that morning and somebody had like tagged up like us and like a couple buildings around us, but it wasn't like, you know, like their name. It was like one of them said like fuck authority and had like, you know, a silly face, you know, and just goofy stuff like that. Like it was just some kids. And we had the whatever you want to call them, the intern type employee go paint over it, you know, in the morning. Like no big deal, but it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, those were the days.
Justin's a big fan of the art you find in a men's restroom at a gas station or a truck stop.
Oh,
You know, I've tried calling those numbers and I never get a satisfactory answer. Whenever I'm like, so what exactly does this mean by for a good time? And then usually it's just, you know,
And then you're like, wait, Clyde, is that you?
like, that doesn't sound like nothing about this sounds like a good time. You're way too much money. I can do all of that for free at home. Why are we?
oh, they actually like give you terms.
I've never had an answer.
I assumed it was like somebody's like ex-girlfriend or something. She just gets pissed off woman like, shut up.
She's trying to find out if her boyfriend is gay. Call Neil at this number. Just like,
Anymore, they just say, go check out my OnlyFans. It's like, really? Do we have to? You'd be more original.
could you be more original?
There's not enough in-person prostitution these days.
Speaking of somebody that's probably going to end up on OnlyFans eventually, Mark's girlfriend.
Oh, Saki. Oh, AOC.
Oh.
AOC wonders if
uh,
pro-life Democrats should continue to serve. We really need to reassess. So AOC wants to run all of the pro-life Democrats out of government and just have progressives who are pro-choice.
One thing I really respect about AOC is she just comes out and says the things that a lot of people hide. And I was like, you know what? I respect that about her.
How do you feel about
Things that
Niall
are just
moving in there on
total
your
party.
woman there, Mark?
I think this question has been asked of me before, and I said no. So she's all Niles. And just to squash the rumors right now, I am not her husband, even though Clyde seems to think that we are the same person.
Why do you guys
You got the same haircut and everything. You were
His hair's
definitely
shorter
the same
than mine.
person.
Is her husband somebody?
No,
Or is
he's
he
just some
something
random ginger.
He's some
Just
weirdo.
like Mark.
that we know of?
My friend asked me last night. He's like, "Would you rather?" I think I asked him this question first. I was like, "Would you date a woman who like smokes cigarettes daily?" And then he asked me the return question: Would I date that woman or would I date a leftist? And I was like, "Oh, give me the cigarette woman." Like, it's not even a difficult question for me.
It is much more tolerable.
Yeah, I would assume.
You haven't dated either?
No. Well, no, I have not.
You've never dated either?
You're asking me this too?
Yeah, have you ever dated either? A
No.
smoker or a leftist?
I have not.
Remember, she smokes, she pokes.
I wouldn't say she was a leftist, but she had left leanings, I guess. But even that was a little bit too much for me. So now we're getting into my dating history.
My wife had left
We
leanings.
are. It's a valid explanation of what's happening now.
My wife had left leanings, and now she's a full-on post-libertarian.
Good for her.
Just needs a good. The trick is they just need a good man or proper brainwashing.
I've heard
Whatever.
this.
So you can
Justin is the leftist to post-libertarian pipeline.
you can hear my brainwashed son in there giggling like he isn't also being brainwashed. So whole family.
That's kind of funny. Oh, sorry, I was laughing at Niles' joke. Oh fuck!
That's even better. Well,
I haven't dated anybody like super political. You know, like I guess I could say like maybe kind of lefty leaning, but I would have been at the same time anyhow. But we were smart and political. I guess this go around when me and my wife got together 6 years ago or so, when she came to stay with me out here, like I wasn't beating her up too badly on it. I was still kind of learning, you know. And I think after like 3 years of hearing me say every day, like, babe, if I told you how much I hate the government today, you know, I think she finally started to pick it up, and now she's, you know, good old agorist.
Good old agorist.
Mm-hmm.
See, I never really talked about any of it. I just like, I've always done a lot of research stuff, like fact checking stuff is always
He's researching women. He's got binders full of women like Mitt Romney.
That's what it is. Doing a lot of research and like fact checking stuff has always kind of been my shtick anyway. And so any like corporate narrative talking points, I would go through and find the truth of it and just like completely destroy the narrative. And so I guess just like being around me talking about that stuff all the time, or looking at it, or being like, hey, check this out. Like, just look how crazy this is. And after a while, she looked at enough, hey, look how crazy this is, and was like, wow, the whole thing is a complete shit show. Maybe he's on to something. She said her dad thought I was a little bit nuts, and now he's like, yeah, he's pretty much right about everything. I know. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
I know.
Well, if somebody can get exposed to enough examples, you know what I mean? Like, and they're not retarded, then it's only like a matter of time, right? Before they figure it out. So we had the county trying to shut down our farm, so that sort of helped.
Yeah, you can only see the curtain get pulled back so many times before it's like
just metaphorically speaking, or
yeah.
Literally, okay.
Well, I mean, I pull the curtain back.
Literal examples.
Anyway, you don't need to know about our shower habits.
Or even scarier, the other places where there's curtains that can be drawn back to reveal horrifying things. Why do you have a basement curtain?
No, pull that.
Yeah, just wait till I reveal why I have a basement curtain.
I watched American Psycho over the weekend. He pulled back some curtains, and there are some dead women that he's murdered in that movie.
What's that?
It's Christian Bale. It's early 2000s.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. I saw that one relatively. I mean, maybe the last couple of years, but I hadn't seen that one forever. And my wife showed me that one. Yeah.
It is quite the movie.
Yeah.
I would say it's entertaining, but it'd be kind of weird to describe it that way.
I love the business card shtick and the memes that come from that. Like, you know, now I get those memes, but my God, it even has, you know, whatever, you know, and then Huey Lewis in the News never sounds quite the same to me after seeing that movie.
I feel like I need to go rewatch it now.
It's worth a rewatch.
It's been some years. Probably not one I should watch with the kid.
Probably not yet. No.
I don't know. You watched Deadpool. Deadpool 2.
Does he show signs of being a psychopath?
Does he show signs of being a psychopath?
I know you do.
No, but not him.
Okay, that's good.
The other one, though, she's scary. No, not that one. He's too nice.
I think you're.
I've tried working on that too, and I can't seem to get it right.
I think you're making a statement about you and your wife right now, but
there's a fine line between too much beating and not enough beating to get him to like toughen up, and I feel like I crossed that line.
Justin is not a peaceful parent who.
It is a delicate balance.
Look, he stabbed himself. I didn't stab him. I just happened to be holding the knife, and he ran into it.
Is he listening or is he watching in the other room?
He's playing video games or some shit. I don't know. Doing what dumb kids do.
Tell him he better be talking shit in the chat.
Yeah, why aren't you
Like we
talking
talked
shit in the
about.
chat? What's wrong with you?
Can we just see? We need a live version of the "Are you winning, son" meme.
My stepdaughter has been commenting in the chats on my show, like every single show for some reason.
She's just help, please.
She's like sets reminders for the show, and then tunes in while I'm watching or while I'm like recording and says, "This is the greatest podcast ever," and stuff like that.
Oh, she's like your hype man.
Yeah, people think that she's like your burner account, like Justin's in here commenting on his own show. I love this show so much.
Oh, that one hurt.
Dad, I said you suck. Dag thought you said Dag, not Dad. And now his feelings.
I thought it was a general overview of our show, and I was like, oh, we're trying really hard here.
We do try really hard. We put
Labor theory of value, guys.
We put maximum effort into this.
We do.
Let's see. Do we have time to cover something really terrifying?
Oh boy,
I think we do. We got
the end of the show is the time for it.
It's always the time for it.
What is this?
So Clyde gets upset that he wasn't here.
This is Clyde in 20 years without his mustache.
This is Robert Montgomery. The problem with individualism in American culture. Americans gravitated towards individualism as people spread out in a new land and seemed wide open with many opportunities. Many had to make individual decisions to come to America in the first place. And of course, this does not apply to slaves brought here by force, but in general, the settlers saw numerous opportunities.
Add that in there, don't they?
Gotta throw that in there for individual enrichment. So the long and short of this, this guy has a problem with individualism in America. And Americans are too individualistic, and that's why we don't get along on things. That's why we have such a rampant gun culture and all of this misogyny and hatred and bigotry and yada yada yada, so on and so forth. It's all because it's the problem with this rampant American individualism. What do y'all think about American individualism?
You see, I could be sympathetic to capital I individualism, especially as a lot of libertarians talk about it being an issue, but I probably don't take the route this guy takes at all. So
our democracy is at stake.
Yeah, so I'm
because our nation is in a world where autocrats have arisen in a number of nations, including America. Many people are drawn to such people as models of the strong individual, and they would like to be, and who will make a difference for them. Instead, autocrats seek to increase their own power. We're all modeling ourselves after the individualistic autocrats like those evil Donald Trumps, and that's the downfall of American democracy.
Damn me wanting to, work to be better, more powerful individual for the well-being of myself and my family.
If you would just suck a little bit harder, you wouldn't have this problem.
I know, right? But I fully recognize that it's all a rich tapestry, and I'm no man's an island.
Mark, is a man an island?
I don't believe so. I was trying to think of a joke about trying to think of a really fat guy. You could say Stacey Abrams is an island, but it's a different kind. And also, I don't think she's an individual because she's probably so fat because she's eaten so many people. therefore lots of individuals are involved.
She's at least 3 people.
Too bad Clyde's not here. I'm trying to humor him, and he'll never watch it.
How did COVID not get her? Like Friday, Clyde and I talked about
All the kids around her wore masks.
She's really not vaccinated, so
probably not. Friday, Clyde and I talked about like people who are getting what is it, the lapendectomy or the lap band or whatever, that getting their stomach tucked so that they can lose weight, because a lot of these like morbidly obese people saw how COVID was killing off morbidly obese people by the droves, and they got scared, and so they all like went and got this lap band surgery and started like working out and working on eating healthy and getting in shape and stuff, because they were terrified that it was going to kill them. It's like, I mean, never mind chronic heart disease, diabetes, any of the things that you're being fat probably would have killed you from. But I mean, if COVID was the thing that scared the shit out of you, that you were like, yeah, maybe I should do something about my health, then more power to you. I just thought it was really kind of amusing.
Running from COVID might have been a little more, overall effective and healthy. But hey, like you said, I'm glad they did something. But it really is like the issue though, when you do like the lap band, like I think that's like, it doesn't help change habits, right? Nothing about that makes people, think about exercise more, or, I mean, to some extent, you don't have to think about diet as much. I'll just eat less, but I can still eat trash, and that doesn't really solve like the root problem,
It was interesting. The main person that they talked about in like this news article, she got the lap band to like kick it off, but she actually did like change her diet and started exercising and doing, like, she did all the right things after the fact. Good. But yeah, I mean, like that was like the thing that kicked her off in that direction. But yeah, generally speaking,
you're real sack of shit to get the surgery and not change, right?
Yeah, I think the Dangerous History guy, CJ Kilmer, and he's talked about this like publicly on podcasts. He had the surgery, but also like super into exercising now and good diet. So I respect those types of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
He's in Florida, isn't he? Do you know him?
No, I don't know him. I think he's in North Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he is in Florida. I should listen to more of his shit, man, because it's really good. He goes really in depth. I listened to some of his Woodrow Wilson stuff, and a few other shows. I can't even think of what now, but over the years. But yeah, man, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Her show's good. I don't know him. I can't say that he's cool or fun to have a beer with. But,
I bet Mark would be fun to have a beer with if you could convince him to actually have a beer.
Well, you have the beer, and I'll drink the cold brew coffee.
Yeah.
Is it a nap violation to spike Mark's coffee?
There's a podcast in Florida. The first podcast I ever appeared on as a guest, the Driveway Liberty guys. Have you heard of them?
Mm-mm.
They're cool guys. And they split their show in half. So when they come back for the last 30 minutes, they talk about what they're drinking. And so when I went on their show, they're like, I don't know, you could just skip over that part and go to that segment, or you can tell us what you're drinking if you're drinking something else. And I was like, I'm drinking a cold brew coffee that I made myself. I have to go back and listen to that episode. I probably sound like an idiot.
Because of the cold brew coffee reference?
No, just because it's very, very first podcast I ever showed up on.
I was really nervous on my first few. My first one was with Clyde, actually, and
yeah, he's intimidating.
I think it went pretty well. Yeah, I think it went pretty well. But yeah, oh god, I was so like, even like the first like several I did, like before I started hosting a podcast, like I'd write down all my thoughts, like 5 pages of notes just so I could
we've already covered that you can't even read your own writing. So
yeah, when I started hosting a podcast, I started typing my notes
Nice.
so I can actually read them. We had Gary Chartier on, and I was like so fucking like nervous. I had like pages of typed notes and questions and shit. You know, those were the days.
I mostly just wing it.
It's once you do 100 episodes of something, you're like, okay, I can just, you know, I might type a couple little questions just, you know, just in case I get hung up, but
Say Mark and I used to have like serious conversations when I'd have him on my show, and now we just like shoot the shit. And
It's true. First time I was on with Justin, I called him Jason.
got us off to a great start. That's how I knew this would be a lasting friendship. Call me the wrong name like literally 45 seconds into the show.
thanks for having me on, Jeff.
You know, I should have cut that a running gag. Just every J name you can think of.
Different one every time. Thanks, Jose.
The girls have like little friends that come over, and I don't ever call them by their right name. That's my running gag is I call them by everything not their name. So
yeah, but some are more highly inappropriate. You shouldn't.
that's him and his friends.
When's Magoo gonna join us for one of these terrible shows?
Well, he's been on before, but usually I have him on whenever all you other bastards like bail on me, and I'm gonna fly solo. It's like I bring him and Carlos on or something.
Yeah.
They're actually not bad co-hosts.
Yeah, every time Justin has Magoo or Carlos on, he's like, well, I made the wrong decisions in life.
These guys are funny and knowledgeable.
Yeah, they know what they're talking about.
They know how to segue from topic to topic. I don't have to do it all by myself.
All I want to know is, do they pronounce it Segway or Sedgway?
I don't know, the not retarded way.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.